Alright, welcome to Old World Gaming. In this episode, I am going to be mostly painting trolls. The first thing, I'm adding a couple of trolls to my goblin army. In the previous episode, I worked out a 500-point army list, which includes 24 Night Goblin Spearmen, and a new war boss, which is next on the painting table after the trolls, 10 bowmen, the shaman, the 3 fanatics, and 2 trolls, which I'm affectionately going to call Dwayne and Balboa or something to that effect. Anyway, so we go. So that's what I'm painting today. I'm going to try and get them to look like as close as I can to the classic Games Workshop heavy metal colour scheme, because I really like it. So a kind of a blue skin with a pale kind of tummy. So that's this episode. I think I'm gonna start on the skin. Maybe we'll do the scales. I think probably just gonna get some scales done, to be honest. So I don't know if you can see. You should just be able to see. This guy's got his first layer on, so a dark blue that I've mixed together, and we'll do that on this guy next. The reason is it takes a while to dry, and I don't think you want to be waiting while it dries. So the only blue, I think I've probably got some old blues actually, but the only current blue I've got is Macragge blue, so I'm going to use that one. I feel like it's probably about the right kind of colour, and I've mixed some Abaddon black with it to give me this I went about half and half, Abaddon black and Macragge blue, to give me this kind of base colour, a kind of grey blue, very dark grey blue. And obviously I've put that all over this guy as a base coat. You can just about see that they're not the same colour. It's quite hard in this light, but yeah, this guy's got his first blue layer on. So that's what I'm going to do now. I've mixed a whole load of water in it, so it's very watery because I want to get it in all the cracks. So the idea of this layer is to be the darkest layer in the recesses for the blues, so the water is to get it right in all of these gaps, because I don't particularly want to go right back to black. I've also got a new light for my setup, because I felt it was a little bit unprofessional resting my phone on top of my daylight lamp and having to balance that up with weight it down with a whole bunch of books, and then balance it, stop it tipping over, my phone fell off every now and then. It felt a bit kind of haphazard. So I bought this. You can see it's a ring light for my phone to go on. But what I'm noticing is I keep tapping the light with my brush. I guess they're not expecting people to be using paintbrushes, or probably not expecting it to be used like this, because I think normally for a ring light you're pointing at yourself, aren't you? But there we go, whatever. It's certainly more secure for my phone, although I have still had to do a bit of a jerry rig. What I've done is I've got an old movement tray holding the clamp apart, because I like to be able to take my phone off and look around and show you what I'm working on. So rather than having the phone clamped in, I've put this movement tray here, and I'm just resting it on top of that. So, and that feels fine, but the, like I say, the light keeps getting hit by my paintbrush. That was unintentional, that hit. And the other thing is, I've currently got the tripod, it's on a tripod, between my legs, and yeah, I keep knocking that a little bit. So, I don't know, this is my first experiment with it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, there we are. We'll get there. I'm sure I'll think of we'll overcome these things eventually. Yeah, just have to, certainly for this video, just have to get over the fact that I'm knocking it with the paintbrush. That was something I wasn't doing with the with the other light, but it was a pain having to balance it and try and wedge a book underneath the lamp, because the lamp was struggling to support the weight of the phone because it wasn't meant to be angled the way that it was always angled, and so it kept just sagging down, so that was a pain. Trying to clear the gunk out of that eye. So yeah, it's different. It swings and roundabouts, as they say. Different problems for different things. And there's some benefits to the old light, like it not getting in the way of the paintbrush. But there's probably a lot more benefits to this light, like it being actually stable. But it feels like it's going to get in my way a little bit. So I don't really know. We'll see. We'll just see how it plays out. Is this brush extra long? Let's see how it compares to the other brushes. Yeah, it is a bit longer than the other brushes. Maybe it'll be alright. I can't see that on screen. Maybe it'll be alright when I start doing the other bits. This isn't even a Games Workshop brush that I'm using. This is just El Cheapo brush that is for like my son's poster paints. But yeah, I don't know if I've got a tank brush anywhere. I used to use Games Workshop tank brushes, but I mean, I might have one lying around somewhere, but I don't know where it is. So yeah, so I just borrowed this one. But there's nothing particularly delicate or complicated about this. I'm literally just lathering on the paint, so it covers all of the areas. So I think he's basically done. Can't see any bits that I've missed. And now obviously I'm only trying to get his skin. I haven't bothered doing the blue on the axe head because that doesn't need to be blue. So this is all looking pretty good. So yeah, I think we'll call that done. Yep, okay, great. So that's that guy. So yeah, I think you can see the blue on him, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, there we are. So that's that guy with his base coat. So that's how I'm doing the base coat anyway. So let's switch back over to the other dude, and I think I'm just gonna try going straight from the crag blue on his scales and see how that turns out. Just washing my brush. Okay. So yeah, my crag blue straight on the scales. All right, we'll see how this goes. And this is going to be a bit tricky, I think. The intention is to paint each individual scale. Let's see how bored I get of doing that. Right, I've just got loads of gloopy crag blue. Oops, there we go, knocked that. Yeah, so the other light was coming in from the side, whereas this one's coming in from the front, and maybe, I don't know. So I tried putting this on the table, but the legs were too high. It was too high, basically. this distance from here to here was too much for my liking. So that's why I've stood it off the table. But I don't know, maybe I'll try it again another time. Right, let's see how we get on with this. I've noticed that when the palette's in picture, it makes everything a lot darker because the camera adjusts. So I'm moving this off. When I move it off, the camera can pick up the dark patches better. So right, now this is quite difficult to see what I'm doing here. So let's have a go. Literally just planning on painting these scales and then leaving the base layer in between. I haven't watered down my Macragge blue because I'm very wary about it running into the gaps, because that's what I don't want to happen. I don't want my I don't want this layer to run into the gaps. It's going to be hard enough as it is to stop it going in those gaps without having additional water in it. I think that's looking all right. We'll have to see. So yeah, so normally I'd thin my paint down, but that's why I haven't. I really like, really love the classic colour scheme for these. I don't know if they've ever done another one, but they've always looked awesome. I say classic. I vaguely recollect, like a lot when they first came out, that maybe they did them with like red eyes and red nails and stuff. Now that's not what I'm going for. I think possibly it was a 6th edition tone down where they gave them like bone nails and normal white eyes. So I guess that's what I'm going for, really. I just consider them classic because they are classic models. Something I've noticed about these, so there's six different models, and I think they probably came out at 2 different times, maybe, I don't know. So what I've noticed, so you see these two are basically the same guy, but one's got a few bits kind of changed on him. But their arms are the same. Their like legs and feet and chains are the same, but they've had some, like the ends of the chains switched around. And this guy's head is moulded onto his body, whereas this guy's head is a separate head, and there were three different heads. So there's 3 trolls that are single piece, and also around their feet they don't have a ridge, and there's 3 which are essentially clones with slight changes that have a ridge around their feet. You can't really see it because I've tried to disguise it, and I've not done a bad job. So yeah, I don't know why that is. If there were 3 that were done first, I guess there must have been 3 done first, but whether they were done like years before the others, or if it was just they cast the first load up and then adjusted them to make a second batch of poses. But yeah, if anybody knows the answer to that, let me know, because it's something that I've wondered for quite a while, probably since I bought them, because I probably didn't notice until I was putting them on bases or something. But yeah, there we go. My paint is drying very quick because it doesn't have water mixed into it. Obviously I think I've mixed a tiny bit of water in a second ago, just out of habit without really thinking about it. But we are getting there. These could look pretty nice. I hope it looks nice. That's obviously the intention, is that it looks nice. I am worried that I'm leaving too big a gap between each of the scales, but it's hard, I don't know, hard not to. I really made that wobble then, didn't I? Yeah, this brush isn't, I mean, obviously it is shorter than the other brush, but not short enough to not hit the light. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I did think about painting all 6 at the same time, but there's not a huge amount of need for that because I'm not doing anything, like my paint's going to be dry between each troll, so it's not like I need to do the same process on each troll. So when you're batch painting, when you're painting a bunch of models together, it's normally because you're using the same paint before it dries to paint like, I don't know, 10 models or more. Or you're doing a dry brush layer that you can just quickly smash out a whole bunch of guys. Because when you're mixing paint together, if you're mixing up your colour, you don't particularly want to have to keep remixing it and risk mixing it different each time. But when you're not, so I'm just using the straight Macragge blue, and it wasn't, the base layer doesn't really matter too much if it's not the same, a consistent colour, because it's going to be the underneath everything, and you're not really going to, it's not like a primary colour that's going to be shown. So this Macragge is the key colour. I don't need to mix it up, so it's fine. I think it's going to be fine just doing the 2 that I need for the warband at the moment. Oops. I have started naming naming the guys in my army, my first 500 point warband. Obviously, these guys, I think I'm going to go with Dwayne, and at the moment I haven't got a better idea than Balboa. Obviously, they're both kind of jokes on rocks, because these guys are stone trolls. Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Rocky Balboa, just in case you hadn't got those. I hope it was obvious and I just haven't had to explain a joke. It's the worst thing. So either it's such a bad joke that you can't get it, or I'm just making it worse by trying to explain it. Or both. I mean, that's definitely a thing that can happen. But there we are. There's loads of, I was thinking about it, there's loads of rock-based names, like Peter is like rock in Greek, and then you've got all of Pedro is a version of Peter, and there's loads of different ones you could use, but I don't think Peter or Pedro, I don't know, maybe they're fine. But yeah, we could go down the route that Terry Pratchett went down with, like detritus. That's quite good. But I don't know. I feel like if maybe when I have a troll king, if they do, I think that's in the next arcane journal for orcs and goblins. I think they're going to be doing troll hordes, aren't they? So they will have like a troll boss of some sort. So if I have a troll boss, he can be detritus, because detritus is a smart troll, but mainly because he's got his like cooling system on his head, his helmet. If you haven't read Terry Pratchett novels, Discworld novels, they are excellent. I thoroughly recommend them. I'm very pleased. I've managed to collect all of them in hardback, possibly apart from one. Is it Eric, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember now. Can't remember if I did get it or not. Yeah, I need to reread them again at some point. They are just really good. Right, how are we getting on? Doing really well. I'm quite liking that. It's actually come out all right. So I missed 8th edition because I saw that there was like Throg, is it Throg, the Troll King? I'm not sure if he came out in like just pure 8th edition or if that was part of the End Times campaign. I get the feeling he was just a special character for Orcs and Goblins that allowed you to take a troll army. But I don't know that for sure. That's just kind of the impression that I get. But yeah, so not having done 8th, I missed out on that. But I assume that's why they're doing this troll army, so that people can use their Throg and have a troll force. I have a few trolls. I've got the obviously these 6 stone trolls. I've got the 3 common trolls from 7th edition. They made you got the one in the Battle for Skull Pass, and then they made 2 metal ones to go with it, so that you ended up with 3 different ones. There was one with a great weapon and one with like holding a bone, I think. And then obviously the one in Battle for Skull Pass was holding a dwarf statue above his head, so I guess it was a double-handed weapon. But yeah, so I got those 3. These 6. I do have 3 river trolls, which are earmarked for my savage army. So yeah, I just think I don't know why I feel like the river trolls fit more with the savage, because these aren't exactly like using high-tech gear. They are basically just savages. But I don't know, for some reason I felt like the river trolls felt more savage related to me than these guys. So they're in the savage army, in theory, maybe. I mean, they don't have to be. They can go wherever they want. But yeah, I guess swamps feel a bit like jungles and the like. But there we go. So yeah, so what's that? 3 river trolls, 3 common trolls, 6 stone trolls. I have got 3 chaos trolls, but I mean, I don't know. Did Throg have chaos trolls in his army? It certainly doesn't feel like a green skin kind of thing to have chaos trolls in the army, but I don't know. How judgmental are the green skins? Do they care? Don't know, maybe they just think it's cool to have a troll with tentacles. I've not really considered that. Are they against chaos? Or do they find it funny? I imagine goblins would find it more funny than abhorrent, but who knows? Depends on the lore, really. Or you can make it up yourself, do what you want. So yes, that's 3. Let's, for argument's sake, let's count them. So what's that? 12, 15 trolls. The troll hag looks like that's coming out as well, so that'd be an additional troll. I'll probably get one of those if I did a troll army. I've got no reason to not do a troll army, having so many already. So the troll hag seems like a worthy purchase. I don't know. I mean, I assume she's a Forge World resin model, but I never really, again, similar to the troll army and Throg, I wasn't really aware of the model before until they showed it on the preview for Orcs and Goblins for Old World. I mean, I think I might have seen it before. I kind of recognise it, so maybe I'd spotted it on the Forge World website, but it's certainly not a model I'd ever been properly aware of enough to consider getting. I certainly haven't seen the rules in the past for the troll hag. So yeah, I'm not familiar with what army set of rules it was in. That's why I'm just assuming it was like a Forge World thing, but then I guess could have been an 8th edition or an end times rule set. How are we looking? Yeah, getting there. I wonder, it's quite dark in these cracks. Maybe I should take the Macragge. I think maybe it's less about the cracks and more about the Macragge. I don't know, we'll get a highlight on these scales. Maybe they'll look fine as is. It just feels like they're a little bit dark. But there we go. We'll see how we get on, I guess. Yeah, I think he's looking pretty good. I guess I might as well finish this hand while I'm over this side. Yeah, I think having some trolls in my army will give a nice punch. Obviously, I've got the fanatics. I think fanatics are like AP3. And I still haven't had a look actually to see if trolls AP1 and the AP2 for their great weapons stacks. If anybody knows, let me know. I'm not sure what to do with the back of his hand. Is it scales? Is it skin? I guess could be either. Oh no, let's just paint it and see where we land. I think it's skin. Right, I might as well finish his fingers. Paint them in this colour. They're only going to be going. The skin colour is going to be lighter than the scales, but it's actually not much. There's not much to do on the skin, so I might as well just quickly put that in as well. I was only planning on doing the scales. The skin's going to be much quicker to paint than these scales anyway. I'll probably just do the base layer on the skin. I don't know if I should have mixed water into that really. It's done now. Let's move that away so it doesn't affect the lighting so much. Okay. Not sure how dark I want it to be in those recesses really. But there we are. Right, let's see how we do this without getting everywhere. I've made it quite, not runny per se, but fluid, I guess. It's still opaque, which I take to mean that it's not too runny. And by opaque, I mean it's not see-through at all. So like the first layer I did was quite transparent, quite see-through. But that was fine because I wanted a darkish base layer anyway. And so having some of the black, kind of it being see-through enough that the black showed through was fine. Okay, yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. I think he's starting to look good. The reason I just put some on his arm was just to get rid of some of the paint on my brush, because I don't particularly want to get it on his nails. It doesn't matter too much because it's not going to be black. the join between his nails and his finger. So maybe I could just go right onto the nails and not care. Alright, I'm doing it. Talk myself into it. I don't need black. It doesn't need to be too dark between the nails and the fingers. So I'm doing it. I've never painted a stone troll before, obviously. I say obviously, it may not be obvious, but I've not painted a stone troll before. So we're kind of learning together. This is experimenting as we go. I'm literally just making it up. But then that's what you do when you paint, isn't it? You just make it up. We try and follow a tutorial. I don't know if this is a tutorial per se, so much as a here's how I'm doing it. Get this skin painted. His lanky muscles. Just managed to blow some grass onto his arm. I think that came off. And there is a kind of a very light, I don't know, I was going to say blue, but I don't know if they even are blue. A light, it's kind of like a bone colour, not that it's meant to be bone, but it's kind of that sort of colour. So my intention is to use the Baneblade brown, like go up through blue, Baneblade brown, and mix in some white when we get there. That's the intention. I'm pretty sure we're not going to get there today, but who knows? Depends on how when I feel like this video should be up. I think I will probably just get as far as highlighting the scales, and then we'll call it a wrap. I don't know what to do about his tummy, because it's not going to end up this colour. It's gonna, I might go up from that. Yeah, I'll probably go up from the dark blue rather than Macragge, pure Macragge anyway. Scales quite hard to get to. And they're quite hard to see, so it probably doesn't matter if they don't look amazing. Okay, yeah, we are getting there. We've got something going on anyway. Whether it's too dark or not is something else, which we'll find out when I highlight them, I guess. But yeah, I am worried I haven't gone close enough to the edges, but I'm not going back around every scale. That's what the highlighting layer can do. Alright, so that's his back, this arm completely done. So the legs and that arm, and his face. We're not doing his tummy, or his ears. So yeah, there we go. Right. So the reason I'm twisting my palette around is because if I carry on using this, it's going to start breaking up and leaving bits of paint on my brush, and that will be a bit rubbish. And mixing a bit of water in because it was a little bit thick. I've got a bit of an idea now of how much I can get away with paint-wise on my brush. There's a little fleck in there. Be gone. Okay. Right, so, I don't know, I'm quite tempted to do his head now. And then try and avoid touching it. If I can avoid touching it. I'm not very good at avoiding touching heads. I once submitted a Wood Elf character back before the Wood Elves came out. I was working at the Eastbourne Games Workshop, and my manager went to work up at HQ in Nottingham, so the manager of the store, and he sent me a Wood Elf from the new range that wasn't released yet to paint up, as like a I wouldn't say audition or interview, but as to see if I could cut it for heavy metal. And part of my problem, this was a long time ago anyway, I feel like I've grown as a person since then, maybe not as a painter, but as a person. I used to hold my models on their heads, and I just left smudges all over the top of his head. It was a bit rubbish, but there you go. I definitely should have cleaned that up before sending it off. There you go, that's on me. I was quite young then. I was like, I don't know, maybe not even 20. Many years ago. When was that? That would have been about 2005. So I guess I would have been 20. All right. Not really sure what's going on with his face. His eyebrows are scaly, I guess. Yeah. That was a big old splurge there. Probably I could clean it up, but actually this is skin now, not scales, so everything's going to be a bit lighter on his skin. I feel like Gandalf. Risk a little more light. I'm putting this right in the gaps instead of leaving it mega dark. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but that's what I'm doing. I wonder what colour his gums should be. I think they are just going to be blue for now. Don't know. I don't think any of them have got like their tongue sticking out or anything, so I don't need to worry about painting internal flesh, but apart from that gum that I can see at the base of this tooth. Yeah, just going to go blue for now till I decide I want it something different, and I don't know if I will decide on anything different. Let's paint his nose, big old schnoz. That is something endearing about these trolls, though, is their massive noses and their large ears. And I realised, looking at it earlier, that they look a lot like the BFG. Like, if you took this ear and rounded it off, there you go, it looks just like Enid Blyton's BFG, I reckon. Was it Enid Blyton? Yeah, Enid Blyton did the artwork for Roald Dahl, didn't they? Yes, there we go. I reckon these are either a rip-off or an homage to the BFG, depending on how you consider it. I'm going to say an homage to the BFG. Yeah, I'm pretty good, in fairness. Being able to kind of get something that's like that in 3D. Do I go right in that gap? Yeah, I'm doing it. There we go, I'm in. Don't know if that was the right move, but it is done. Blue there, or on the outside anyway. On the inside it will be the pale colour. I need to get a better chair, because this chair hurts my back. I'm more hunched over. Well, whether it's the chair or just the whole setup that I've got going on here, I think, I don't know, I'd probably be leaning back a bit more if I wasn't trying to get it in camera shot. Yes, it's definitely not good posture. There we go. Just one of those things. Let's do this. Big old chin. I say big, that's probably a bit unfair. It's not a big chin. I mean, it is a big chin, because he's a big guy, he's a troll. But it's not like it's a fat chin. So, been a little bit unfair to him there. Not that he can help his chin, anyway. His chin is his chin. Could be fat or small. And it's all fine. It wasn't meant to be detrimental. Right, okay, so... I've gone into his eye over here. Okay, that's that. We need to do on top of the other ear. Need a bit more water in my paint. We need to keep it a nice consistency, because I don't want to start leaving like paintbrush. Scratches isn't quite the word, but you know what I mean, where it just like you drag it through and it leaves marks that are bristle shaped. So scratching is the best word I've got for it at the moment. I may think of a better one, but not right now, not in the next couple of seconds. Okay, so that's his head done. Yeah, okay, fine. Right, now this arm is the next big thing, and then it's just the legs and we're done. Okay, so let's do the shoulder. And just don't mind me while I tap the light a bunch. Be interesting to see. See, I'm putting my fingers all over his head. Doesn't really matter too much because it's not painted yet properly. But it'd be interesting to see if the software on the iPhone takes out the tapping as like background noise removal. But I don't think it will, because it wasn't removing the clock noise, the ticking of the clock. The clock has been banished to the bathroom, just so it's not making noise. I am sitting on the uncomfortable chair to stop the squeaking. Just realised I've also moved away from his arm onto his chest. Never mind. And neck needs doing. It's just not the bit I said I was going to do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to his arm behind the chain through that gap. There we are. And the rest is skin. Oh, I didn't do around here. Oh, and up here. Oh, there's bits everywhere. It's got a very scaly neck. And scales around the sides that I didn't spot. It's a good job I spotted them now, because I definitely would have missed them. Yeah, the other thing with this light is that if I bring it too close, it goes out of the light. Although it looked like the phone adjusted for it then, so maybe it's not the worst problem. Not as bad a problem as I thought it was going to be. Now, you probably can't see this bit because I'm going between his axe. Axe? Is it an axe? No. I can hardly call that an axe. It's a hammer. Yeah, I guess it's more of a hammer than an axe. Okay, that's that. Some more down here. The other guy's is kind of an axe because it's pointy. I say pointy, as sharp as a blunt bit of stone. But this one is just flat, so that's definitely more of a hammer. But it doesn't matter because they're called great weapons. They can be whatever it wants. And he's a troll, so no one's going to argue with him. Or if they do argue with him, they're getting a strength 7 whack to the face. And this guy is actually humongous. You don't really realise how big certain units are, like certain guys are. Just because this guy is like quite well proportioned. But if you put him next to a goblin, like, he's massive. If you were the goblin looking up at the troll, he's like double the size. No, more than double. 1, 2. He's almost triple the height of the goblin. Imagine looking at someone triple your height. Like, that's, I don't know, that's like almost 2 stories tall in a house. I know a goblin's shorter than a troll, but that's really tall. Similar with an orc, right? An orc, I've definitely got sidetracked now. Okay, an orc is actually huge. They are bigger than humans as well. So humans probably halfway between the height of the goblin and the height of the orc, which means, like, if an orc was standing in the room that I'm in, like your average household, his head would be touching the ceiling. Imagine fighting a guy whose head like is touching the ceiling in your room. That is huge. You just don't think about it. It's just like, oh, it's just an orc. But they are massive. They're much bigger than humans. So yeah, there you go. Just something to think about. I was thinking about it the other day, and by the other day I mean some point last year. It really was another day, a long time ago. But yeah, there you go. Random thought. I don't even know why I mentioned that. I mean, look how massive this club is. That's like, that wouldn't even fit standing up in your room. It's huge. So that's what it was. Because I said you wouldn't argue with him. Because if you argue with him, you get a club to the head. And I was thinking how big that hammer is and how easy it would just squish you. Like, actually just squish you. Because that's literally the same size as the goblin. So that landed on a goblin. It just disappear. That is why it's AP3 or AP2. Strength 7, AP2. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, so that makes sense. Strength 7, yeah, I think is reasonable for something that could just completely squish you into the ground and you wouldn't even be seen again. Strength 7's fine. That's 2s any day. I mean, even Strength 5 is 2s. But this is 2s. AP 2 or 3, depending on if it stacks. I'm going to have to look that up. By the time I do the next troll video, I will have looked up whether they're AP stacks. I was about to say I promise, but that's very risky because there's no guarantee that I will remember to do that. But I will try and remember to do that. I promise I will try and remember. There we go. How about that? Do you feel like you've had a good promise made to you? I don't think so. But there we go. That's as good as your promise is going to get. So there's a lot of scales on this guy. It doesn't, I don't know why, it doesn't look like that many, but then when you paint them, it turns out there it is. Lots of scales. Painting them individually. I don't think I've never painted scales individually before. Like, I think when painting cold one riders, or cold ones for my dark elves, I always just like dry brushed them or something. And I always hated it. Like, they always looked rubbish, and I don't know. Don't know why I never did this. But it does take a while. Takes a while. But we are getting quite close, I think. We shall be done soon. On the scales, anyway. Because like most of it, he is almost there. Just his legs. And his legs aren't particularly big in the front and his hand. Yeah, compared to the rest of him, his legs are rather small. But I'm not going to say that to his face. I'll say it to his back. And then run away really quickly. It's alright when I'm the one holding him and I'm the giant right now, so. Maybe he's not precious about the fact that he's got short legs. Maybe he is. Do I want to take the risk? I don't know. I might if I was a goblin and I was behind him, because I feel like, I don't know, are trolls fast? Maybe they are fast. They're what, movement 6? It was used to be movement 6 anyway. I'm assuming they are still. So yeah, maybe they're fast. But their initiative is, that's weird. How can something be fast and have low initiative, right? I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's fine. But it just feels like something that's fast should have high initiative. And this is not me saying trolls should have good initiative. This is just the feeling of disconnect between something being fast and something having good reactions. Because something, if you're able to move fast, I feel like you should have good reactions. I don't know, maybe giants move really fast, but I imagine their reactions don't need to be particularly good. They're just moving fast because they've got big legs. So maybe that's what it is. I did say this guy's like 2 stories high. So, and yes, that's a bit of an overstatement. He's not. He's two goblin stories high. He's probably not. He's probably, I don't know. He could probably look in. Oh, that is really tall though. Could he look in your window of your house? I don't know. Maybe not. I'm looking at my window now. That's why I'm not painting. Just looking behind me. see if I think he could look in my house window. I don't know. It feels like he's not that tall. I've actually got some houses here though. I'm going to do it. I'm getting a house. Bear with. Need a house with like 2 stories. Steps. This one's here's a house with 2 stories. These are, they're bent because they've been stuck in a box. But these are an old Games Workshop. They did like a paper craft book where you cut out the bits and stick them together and make some houses. Blood on the Streets. Blood on the Streets was a Mordheim expansion, but it could have had the same name because they like to reuse names for things. So here we go. So let's say this is an old Games Workshop building. He could almost like look in the window. Not quite, but maybe if you went on tiptoes, you could look in the window. Yeah, maybe he kind of is. Kind of is tall enough to look in that window. So yeah, they're big guys. So you don't really realise how massive they are. And these, granted, these are not big houses. These are quite small houses. But still, that's the point is made, I think. They're really tall. There we go. In some Games Workshop lore somewhere, a troll is big enough to look in your window of your house, according to that scale house that Games Workshop once did many years ago for like, I don't know, 2nd edition or something. I actually have no idea when that came out, but it certainly was. It was pre-5th edition, I reckon. Whether it was like 2nd, I don't really know. It could have been. I'm gonna have to look that up at some point. Okay, so that's that done. Very good. Don't have it quite so dark in there. Okay, legs, and then we are done on that layer. Then I just have to highlight all of them. Well, we'll see. We will see. Do I have to highlight all of them? Do they have to be good highlights? These are questions which we will answer shortly. Yeah, I think highlighting won't take too long. I think the highlighting will be all right, because it's just kind of a suggestion of highlightedness. If you highlight a few of them, you can kind of make it look like you've highlighted lots of them. I'm hoping, that's what I'm telling myself. I want them to actually highlight all of them. I'm not expecting to highlight all the way around all of them either, just some strategic highlights on some of them. Yep. Strategic highlighting. That's a thing. I've decided. It's got to be a thing. It's got to be. There's just too many scales to have to highlight every single one. It's not like this is a God Demon entry. Why am I spending so much time on these scales? Another option probably would have been just to paint it all this colour and then use some sort of shade just to run over it. That probably would have been fine. Could have done that. But I mean, I even bought Null Oil out in case I wanted to do that. But I just felt like this was the right move, and I don't know if I was right. Probably should have just painted it all one colour and then just whacked a shade in, and that probably would have been fine. Well, never mind. We're basically done now. I think I'm not particularly, I've never really tried to paint models with like washes and shades apart from Nurgle. My Nurgle army, I did super quick, like so quick, because I just dry brushed the whole thing, put a bunch of different washes on it, and then it looked great. But these days, I'm too afraid to do something like that with something that is not meant to look like rotten. Nurgle, obviously, I feel like it's meant to look messy and rotten. But yeah, average unit's not. But I'm probably just missing a trick. I reckon more stuff is washable than just Nurgle, and I just haven't had practice with it. There we go. This guy's very nearly done with my crag layer. Okay, let's just finish this foot and then move on and do the last leg, and then we are done, 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 done. So close. Just trying to work out what was toenail and what was scale. Okay, I think that foot's done. Yeah, that's all done. Done. Great. Okay, last. Oh, his butt. He's got little butt cheeks. How did I not notice that? That's amusing. My 4-year-old son's got little butt cheeks. Like this. Cute little butt cheeks. Oh, that's so funny. I don't know why it amuses me so much, but it did. Cute little butt cheeks. Not all of it is scaly either. Who'd have thought a troll would have tiny little butt cheeks? I don't know, I didn't really consider. It's certainly not something I put any thought into, for obvious reasons, as to the size of a troll's butt. But I guess when you paint a troll, it's the kind of thing that comes up. When you sculpt a troll even, like, what do I do with his butt? Also, I'm pretty sure Slayers have their butts shown as well. There's a few models in the Warhammer range that have their butts showing. We are so nearly done, and I'm so happy about that. I may have to do a separate episode on highlighting scales. I don't know, maybe I'll just power through. Let's do it. Let's power through. Get it done. How long can it possibly take highlighting 1,000,000 scales? Right? That's got to be quick, right? Hasn't it? It is going to be quick, isn't it? I feel like that Padme meme. I don't even know what it would say. It's like highlighting scales. You didn't do each. You washed them, right? You washed them, right? You didn't paint them all individually, right? Yeah. It's the Padme meme. Is that the destiny of this troll video? To become a meme. I've got bits of blue in my brush, like hard bits. That is too much water. Come on, we're so close to getting these scales done. It's only taken about an hour. Only an hour. Come on. Let's just. I'm smashing this out now. Got a fresh burst of energy. I don't know why, because my back is killing me. Almost there. I do need to do the front of his leg, which has a fair amount of scales on, but we're so close. Come on, we're in the home stretch, the final stretch. We can do this. I really should find out how to do like wash as well. So I'm pretty sure that's what I should have done on this one. I don't know how I would have done it though. Would it be paint the whole lot with Macragge? Or would it be go lighter and then do the wash? Maybe it would be lighter. See, that just feels like contrast paints. I don't know how I feel about contrast paints. Maybe they're fine. Maybe they're fine as like to do exactly this, and then just highlight up from them. So maybe it should be like a light colour, put a contrast paint on it, and then highlight up from whatever state that contrast paint leaves in. Maybe that's a technique to use. But I'm not really well versed in contrast paints. They are way after my time. It's black all the way is the basically my approach to painting. Start with black, and then work up through. Even if you paint in white, that's not strictly true. I have done a couple of models with a white base, but not many. Not many at all. Literally like two, and a whole unit of Savage Orcs. 2 units of Savage Orcs. All right, cool. Okay, let's have a quick go at highlighting some of these and see how we go. Right, so let's get some more Macragge. And we'll get some white. Shake this one out. I probably don't actually need too much white. I've got quite a lot. Let's see. Yeah, it does look nice. Alright. I hope and I think this is going to look really nice. I've probably got too much on my brush, but how much do I care? All right, yeah, I care. Right, moment of truth. He says, I don't even know where to start. So many scales. That's too much highlight, I think. I don't know, maybe it's fine. Strategic highlighting. Strategic highlighting. That's what I said, right? We can do strategic highlighting, probably. And so basically, just going to do the most extreme edges on each of these. That's the intention. We'll see if I can stick to it. Yeah, I think that's looking nice. Like I say, my previous attempts at painting scales have generally been dry brush it, because I've always been quite lazy in that regard. Certainly not the paint every scale approach that we've done today. How does that look? Looking alright? Okay, let's carry on. Oh, my paint is running out already. Not good. I feel like it's too much on the brush now though. I'm just going to make a mess everywhere. How do I do this? Yeah, I've got way too much on my brush. It's quite fluidy and I've got loads on my brush, so this is at a massive risk of just falling into the gaps. But I'm doing it anyway. Let's move this out of the way so you can see better. Okay, we're getting there and it's looking pretty good, I think. Okay, we can do this. We can do this. We got this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think we did good. We did good. Made the right move. Even if it is painstaking. Painful. Yeah, it's looking nice. It's looking nice. Okay, cool. If I tell myself that enough, it will all be worth it. And this, is it a quicker process? It feels like it was a bit quicker. Not really sure where I should be highlighting on half of these. Do I highlight at the top? Do I highlight at the bottom? Don't know. Highlighting from different directions. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's probably not ideal. Probably should pretend the light's coming from the same place, same direction. But there we go. If I imagine this is kind of the part of the video that people will skip to. Because no one wants to watch me paint 100 scales. Just the base layer. Like maybe 10, 20 scales, and then it's like, let's skip to the interesting bit where they get highlighted. But yeah, that's looking pretty sweet. But if you've skipped to here, you don't know what I've done in between, you see. How do we go from looking alright to looking pretty sweet? Pretty sweet. That's the official way of saying it. Well, you never know. If you've skipped, that is. If you're a skipper, you skipped all the way to here. You never know. You'll have to go back and watch and see what I did to make them look awesome. It was quite a journey, let me tell you. But that is looking mighty fine, even if I do say so myself. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It actually looks loads better. I mean, I can't really see how it's looking on the camera from here. Oh, look at that. It does look good. Oh, I'm pleased with that. Okay, great. And basically what I was just doing there was standing up to look in the phone that's on the top, because I'm conscious that looking at it from different angles, the screen looks darker from here, so I wasn't really sure what you can see. And how representative it is of what's actually happening in real life. When I take a photo of the finished thing at the end, and it looks all right. It's not even middle standard, but I'm pretty pleased with it. It's the best stone troll I've ever painted, which was definitely going to be the case, no matter how he turned out. But that's fine. Makes me feel better anyway. Yeah, I guess I will get them both done like this. Oh, I'm really pleased that it's looking good. Makes me feel so much better about having just painted all these scales individually. Oh, worthwhile. Probably worthwhile. Yeah, I think it was worthwhile. Okay, great. Looking super good. Looking fine. And I may even paint his skin as a little bit of like a victory lap, because his skin should be very easy compared to all these scales. Yeah, oh, so good. So I'm happy about that. Now, if I was feeling particularly masochistic, I would do another highlight layer on these scales. And who knows, maybe one day I will do it, but not today. I'm just pleased that this single highlight looks good. But yeah, really, I could do with another highlight layer right on the corners, just to really make it pop. That's kind of the difference between a good paint job and a paint job that looks amazing, is that one more layer of highlight. I just realised I'm not painting with pure McCrank blue. dipped my brush in it, I was like, oh, it's a different colour. Because we mixed white in. But yeah, having one more layer of highlight really makes it pop. And the final layer actually takes very little time at all, because you're only doing it in like a couple of spots. I'm tempting myself now. Well, I'm going to do his skin anyway, and his skin will need a little bit of a layer, a little bit more. So you never know. I may find it in myself to do a little bit more highlighting. I'm just all excited now about how good it looks. I'm very pleased. I don't know if you can tell. Right, just mixed up some more. And now I have tons on my brush. And it's quite loose again. Okay, right, back to the grind. And I made this a little bit lighter. It was a bit too light. Add a bit of blue. Just to tone it down a smidge. Still a little bit light. The benefit of this is I've now got enough paint to last me a little while. Probably. Yeah, it was just too harsh a highlight, that last one I just did. And it would have just looked that little bit rubbish. We need to be a bit more subtle than it was. It was quite fat. Whatever. No one's going to look at that individual scale on its own. Right. I can just do some token highlighting down here because no one's going to look at this bit ever. Imagine people coming up going, oh, did you highlight under his arm? Let's have a look. Do I highlight audit? No, he didn't highlight under his arm. Well, actually, highlight auditor I did, so there we go. Now I'm not sure it's light enough. It's darker than that. Oh no. Right, mixing a bit more white in. See, this is the problem with mixing your colours. That's quite a lot of white. Right. Instantly put way too much on. Never mind, never mind. Come on, I can get over it. I can honestly get over it. Probably. I can't. I'm definitely the kind of person who can't get over it. Alright, fine. On my own highlight auditor, it would appear. Okay, let's just move on. If anyone is still watching right now, I'm well impressed. Definitely put a comment in to say that you're still watching at this point. Now, obviously, I'll never know if it's because you've skipped to here or actually watched the whole thing, so that's on you. But yeah, there we go. If you watch the whole thing and got to here, then kudos. Because it's quite the grind. I mean, we've been on an emotional journey together. There have been highs, there have been lows. But yeah, we are getting there. Look at this boy. That looks cool. Still can't work out if I highlighted this bit or not because the light. No, I didn't. Okay. In a minute, I'll have to do it all on this guy. But that won't be on video. I'm not planning on putting it on the video. Should I put it on the video? I'm doing it anyway. It's up to you if you want to watch it. I'm not going to put it on the video. There's certainly, it's definitely harder to paint whilst I'm on video. One reason being, I'm sitting in a rubbish chair, as mentioned previously. Another one being I've got all this contraption between me and the model and my face, which is not ideal. It certainly makes it more of a challenge than it would be without it. So yeah, so it'd be easier for me to paint it, the second one, when I'm not recording. Okay, right. That bit definitely looks the best. Let's do his scales on his butt. Remember tactical highlighting I was planning on doing. I don't know if this counts. Tactical highlighting. Still, he's looking cool. I'm very, very pleased with how he's looking. I realised I'm on his leg, and I don't know if I even finished his arm. Did I finish his arm? I guess I did. Just migrated round to his leg. I mean, there is tactical highlighting going on. Definitely not highlighting every surface. I am honestly following my own advice. Okay. I mean, I feel like, actually, looking at this, we are most of the way there. It's this arm and this leg. After we're done here, we'll have to mix up some more highlighting shade in a minute though, which is a bit annoying, but there we are. that was me realising I've got 5 more of these to do. Good job I've only got 2 in this first army list. But I have a feeling I'm going to be very pleased with how they turn out, so I won't mind. It's just the pain to get there, but it's worth it. I'm telling myself it's worth it. Let me know if you think it's worth it. Please let me know if you think it's worth it in the comments. I do read all your comments, actually. Anyone that comments will get a response from me. Unless you're being mean to me, of course. Then I probably won't. Probably won't, I might. But yeah, I do read all the comments. Respond, basically, to all of them. Okay, that's good. Some tactical highlighting on that. Right, let's do... we did. Even did his scales over there. Let's do this arm now, I think. I say do this arm, finish this arm, I started it already. Tactical highlighting. That was poor. That wasn't even tactical, it was just lame highlighting on that one. I've got too many scales to do to be bothered about whether each individual one ends up looking good or not. As long as they, between them, they pull off a all look good together, we're all in this together kind of thing. I don't even know that song, but I've got it going through my head. At least I've got the we're all in this together now in my head, and those are the only words I know. Yep, that's it. That's all I know, and now it's in my head. It's very sad. I like to think that anybody else who's listening along is also in that situation right now. Well, at least I should get a fairly decent thumbnail shot of me painting a scale and making it look cool. That's one of the most fun things is having a look through and finding a shot that looks epic on a thumbnail. I'm quite pleased with my thumbnails. They definitely have gotten better. One of the great leaps forward in my thumbnails was when my mate sent me a mega zoomed in shot of one of my photos, one of my models, saying this bit looks really good. I was like, it does look really good. It particularly looks really good now that you zoomed in mega far. So I'm going to zoom in mega far on all my thumbnails. And I think that certainly helps. It makes my thumbnails look good. I was also quite pleased with the design. I was well chuffed I managed to get Old World Gaming as a YouTube tag. Like when I typed it in, YouTube added like a whole bunch of numbers in the end, and I was like, oh, clearly there's loads of Old World Gamings. And I just deleted the numbers and was like, yep, you can have that too. It's like, well then, why would you put numbers on it? Why would I not want the one that sounds the best? Why would I want like a million numbers on the end of a cool channel name? I don't understand. Yeah, really weird. Don't know why it does that, but I'm glad that I challenged it. I was quite pleased with the logo I've got at the moment. I'm sure it could be better, but if you look really hard at the OWG inner circle, you'll notice that behind the circle is this goblin screaming in the background. It's very hard to see. The only reason I did it was because I figured the the circle looked very plain, and it would look better if it had some sort of texture to it. And I was like, I don't know what to do for a texture. So all I did was I added a little bit of transparency to it and shoved in behind it, and then it added texture. Just the fact that it's got texture makes it look loads better, even though you basically don't know what it is, unless someone tells you, like now. So anybody who's listening right now knows that it's my shaman is the kind of background image on the Old World Gaming logo. There you are. And it'll probably stay like that forever. It's very unlikely I'm ever going to redesign it. Why would I? It's not like this is a massive channel. I don't know what I've got on his nose, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to paint over anyway. Tactical highlighting. So I don't know if you've seen. I don't have many. Well, before I started recording this video, the previous one I uploaded, which was me buying wood from B&Q and explaining the kind of wood that I'm going to be using to make my gaming board. That no one had watched that, but there we go. It's fine. I'm over it, honest. I don't know why I brought that up. Oh yeah, I'm going to make a gaming board. That's why. I did mention that in my army list building video that I would be making a gaming board, and I was in town today, passing B&Q, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in and buy some wood for this board that I'm planning on making. I hadn't intended on doing it anytime soon, really, but like I say, I was in town, past B&Q, popped in and found some wood. So it may actually happen a lot sooner than intended. It's Saturday tomorrow, so I might actually make a start. Look at that, I made my first mistake. I say first mistake, the first one that I felt I needed to clean up. No, that's not true. I definitely rubbed off the one where I used too much white earlier. But this paint is running out again. But we are getting dangerously close to having finished this first layer of highlights on all these scales. That's exciting, isn't it? Exciting for me, anyway. Okay, we need to do this leg. Well, we've done some of this leg. Finish doing this leg and do his head, and then quickly do his skin. And then we're mainly there. I need to do a bit more, mix a bit more paint. I feel like this is too much white. Yes, it is too much white. To work out if it was too much white, I don't know if you can see, probably not. I did a streak just here on top of the previous colour that I was using, and it is indeed much lighter. So that's my way of testing. That is about the same colour. There we go. That's good. Trying to get as much paint off the brush as possible, so I don't have to mix too much more. I'm going to end up having to get a new brush at some point, because this one is feeling the pressure of having been painting lots recently. Where were we? Doing his leg. Tactical highlights on his leg. Right. That was a splurge. I don't know if that was because I got complacent or because I had too much on my brush. Could be either. I was going to blame it on the brush, but I'm just tired and it's getting quite late. In my time right now, it is 11:15, almost 10 to 11 actually. 10:47. Sounds quite late. I've been up, been working. But we can, powering through, we can get this guy, this scales done for this episode. Not quite as exciting as the Fanatics episode where I managed to paint 3 Fanatics from start to finish in one go. But we have made excellent progress on this guy. Look at that. So good. So good. I have to tell myself that because my back hurts and it's been a long process. So I feel like it looks good. And that's good enough to keep me going. So close, so close. There's most of the scales done. Just realised he's got like some on this foot that I didn't do. Okay, that's scales mostly done. Right, he's got a bit on the side of his chest and on his head. And then we are done with the scales, and I'll quickly do the skin because the skin is going to take basically no time compared to a million scales. Just a bit of fluff on him. Right, come on, let's take these down. So close, so close. It's a bit of a chant. Keeps me going. Knocking everything around. Right, okay. Let's do the ones on top of his head. Let's hold his hammer. Not really sure where I should be doing these tactical highlights, to be honest. I've got quite a lot on my brush. I kind of feel like I'm just going to be highlighting every angle up here. This is killing my back. Okay, we are so close to getting them done. Okay, he's got some on here, I guess. These are a bit scaly on his gums. Right, and around here as well, under his neck. Okay, right, let's just quickly do some skin colour. His skin is, I don't know if I've got enough now. Mixing a bit more water in, that might be trying to stretch it too far, I think. Right, let's just get his skin done. And then we will call it a day, I think. But I am tempted to put that last highlight later on. Just a few of the scales. I'm clearly a sucker for punishment. Really need to get up and have a walk around. Need a bit more blue on that. Okay, so let's do his skin. Could probably risk a little bit of water. So for his skin, I almost wish I hadn't gone so dark next to his scales with the skin layer. But there we go, never mind. This is what it is. Get off. It's a bit white, that was resisting. Okay, so for this layer, I am basically going to do this everywhere except the deep recesses, I think. Interesting how some of these scales are loads lighter than this layer. I thought I'd mixed the same colour, but clearly not. Oh, painting skin is so much easier than painting scales. I feel so free. Sad, isn't it? Yeah, that really makes his scales look better as well. I think. That space almost dropped in there. Okay, just gonna paint his leg. His butt. his feet. And this is drying up quite quick. I don't know how much is scales and how much is like just skin on his toes. Don't really know. It's whatever I decide, I guess, as I'm painting it. Paint it how I want to paint it. Alright, let's do this foot. This has been quite a gruelling task, but we are getting there. But it's definitely goodness everywhere. Definitely taken it out of me. Been quite tiring. And you can probably tell by the fact that I'm not talking as much interesting stuff right now. It's just a case of getting through it. Powering through. But we're getting there. We are getting there. Yeah, I think he's going to look all right when he's done. So this layer that I'm doing is basically the same layer that I've just done around the highlights, but now I'm using it as almost a base layer for the skin. So it's a highlight layer on the scales, but a base layer for the skin. Because his skin's going to be lighter than the scales. So the scales are intentionally meant to be darker. Just his hand left and his face, actually. So yeah, just leaving those deepest recesses with the previous layer. And what was the previous layer? Just Macragge Blue. So Macragge Blue has become our base layer on the skin, whereas it was our mid-tone on the scales, which is why the scales will look darker. It's only when it's done anyway, because this is the mid layer for the skin rather than the highlight. And then we use the next layer will be lighter than the highlight was on the scales. That's the intention of it, although I'm noticing that the scales probably are a little bit lighter than than this layer that I'm the highlight layer on the scales is probably a little bit lighter than this layer that I'm using now. But there we go. Yeah, it's the way of things when you're mixing your paints. Just knock this camera all the time. Okay, so that's all the skin done, obviously, apart from his tummy, which I'm going to be doing a different colour, and then his face. So now I'm going to leave the recesses in that. So the recesses are Macragge Blue. Just pure Macragge Blue. And I think that's fine. I was worried it was a little bit light earlier, but it looks fine. That's good. Almost out, but we're also almost there. If I can get away without mixing a new batch, that'd be good. It's going to be close. Get his eyelids painted. Still painted his chin. I'm not sure how I'm going to make it without mixing a new batch. I feel like I'm rushing now just to try and do it before it dries up. Yeah, I'm rushing. Yes. Too much knocking. There we go. Right. Yeah, it's running out. Oh no. Come on, we can do it. We can make it before it runs out. So close. Yeah, we'll make it. We'll make it. Great. We are just about there. That is very exciting. Yeah, I'm very pleased with how he's looking. Right, let's do this next layer up. Every time we go a layer up, it gets quicker because we have to do less and less painting. So let's do this next layer. We are ready for the next layer. Okay, so we crank the some skull white. Skull white? It's not what skull white, it's white skull. Back in my day, it was skull white. And that's why my chair legs were touching the tripod. How does that look compared to it? Yeah, it's loads lighter. It might be too light, but it'll be alright, I'm sure. I'm not sure, but we'll do it. Oh, is it too light? Maybe it's too light. It is quite light. How does it look? No, it's too light. Okay. Not sure if that really didn't feel like it toned it down much at all, but maybe it's fine. Okay. Yeah, probably be alright. How does that look? Why is this not? Something about knocking it off made the autofocus stop working. That's not ideal, is it? Yeah, that looks good though. Can I get his eyelid? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's good. He looks like he's got two completely different faces. From this side, he's like got just a little bit of a grumpy face, and this side he's got like a proper grinny, snarly face. Okay, let's do this. Next layer. Okay, we are getting there. Just some kind of token gestures, really. Did I even paint that leg? Oh, no, I didn't. Didn't paint that leg with the previous colour. That's annoying. Oh well, let's just try and pretend no one will notice. If that was true, if I thought it was true that no one would notice, then I've definitely put a lot of effort in for no reason. There we go. Right, that's that just got that arm left. And we are done with this layer. Well, this is officially the longest video yet on the channel, and I don't think that's particularly a good thing. It's taken a very long time, but he's looking pretty good. I think he's looking pretty good anyway. Yeah, is looking pretty good. Okay, we'll do one last layer on his skin. And then that'll be him for that. The last thing is, do I do a bit more highlighting on a few of his scales? I might. I'm super tempted to. I don't know if you can tell. This is about the same colour as the one I've just done. How much of about is it? Yeah, probably do a tiny bit white. Yeah, so I might use this colour to do another highlight on his scales. Okay. So worried about touching him now. I don't know if this is... I don't know if I've gone up quite light enough as his base layer on his skin. Never mind. This is looking pretty good. Okay, it's a good looking face he's got now anyway. But yeah, I kind of feel like I should have gone a bit lighter on his skin, but never mind. Don't know where to begin. The intention is this is like the last highlight. So I'm just doing obviously the very topmost raised areas with this colour. that, I think. He's almost the skin done. Surely she's got ears up here. Yes, that looks pretty good on the old skin front. Whilst I've got some of this paint, I might as well see if I could do a little bit of highlighting on some of these scales. See if it makes a difference. Yeah, it does look good. Just a few of these corner bits. Just kind of makes it pop a little bit. I just get random songs in my head. Now I've got ooh just a little bit. Just a little bit more. Yeah, that does actually look very cool. I think so anyway. Look at that. Little bit. It's so subtle as well because I'm not even putting much on there. Just a tiny hint on some of these corner bits. Just to add a bit of sparkle. This is strategic highlighting, so I'm definitely not doing it everywhere. Just in enough places to make it look like I've done it everywhere. Yeah, that does. And see, it makes a decent difference, and it's actually probably the quickest part of the paint job that I've done so far, and yeah, has probably the biggest benefit. Oh. Not the whole tripod go in there. Right, let's do some on the front. Right, do a little bit on his arms. He says, taking a massive dollop. Do not want a massive dollop. Poor. Never mind, I feel like I'm just making it worse now. Yeah, some of those definitely now look a little bit worse, but never mind. All right. Must stop highlighting. Okay, there we go. Right. I think that is a rather good looking job we've done on this guy. Very pleased with how he's looking so far. Just got to do that again on 6 more rolls. Not 6 more, 5 more. In fact, only 1 more for now. But yeah, there we are. Still going. Can't help highlighting. Cool. Well, there we go. For anyone who made it this far, congratulations. You've outdone yourself. Anyone who skipped this far, welcome. Thanks for joining us. It's been emotional, but we're here at last. And yeah, he's got his scales done and the blue skin, and I'll do his belly and his ears, the kind of browner skin another time. All right, there we go. Hopefully some of that was interesting, and yeah, thanks for watching.